I wasn't planning on finding out that I was autistic. It was something that started off as a joke, honestly. My daughter had been diagnosed, and one day I figured I'd take some assessments, just to see. Because I knew I had quirks about me, and I figured it was just ADHD and, just my general personality. No pressure, no real expectation. I told myself it was fairly harmless. Then I scored moderate to high on every single assessment. I took one and then another. The results didn't budge. I emailed my wife the scores, half expecting her to be shocked, and she wasn't. Not even a little bit. Mind you, this is somebody I've been with for over 20 years. She reminded me that she had taken videos of me stimming before. Not to make fun of me, but to show me later. Because she says that when I'm in deep thought that, my fingers just kind of move and do stuff on their own, or I have certain twitches about myself. Other times I rock back and forth. I've never liked bright lights. It's overstimulating for me. And when I worked at NASA, there were days where I would go and sit in empty conference rooms with the light off because the lights were just too bright. I preferred to work in the dark. And sometimes the overhead lights were just so overwhelming. I'd crawl up under my desk just to get away from them. Being around large groups have always just trained me. I can be social. I can be out there, talk to people, get around, but my social battery depletes very, very quickly. Loud noises felt like someone was scraping my nerves raw. I often miss social cues more often than I like to admit. And looking back, I realize how much energy I spent copying other people's behavior, adopting their mannerisms, their speech patterns, even the ways that they stand, just to blend in. And I even find myself nowadays still Googling, how do you act in this situation, or how do you respond to this situation, despite the fact that I'm a social psychologist. Behavior isn't one of those things that I picked up on naturally. I've had to learn everything I know about human behavior from somebody else or from a book. When I finished the last test, I sat there for a very long time. And then I cried. Not the quiet, single tear kind of crying. No, the full chest tightening kind where memories crash into you all at once. I thought about the times where I had been called weird or strange, and the moments where people just laughed at me without explaining why. I was never able to catch on to the sarcasm until it was too late. It was like someone had handed me a map of my life, and suddenly all of the strange detours and dead ends had labels. But that map also raised a question I wasn't ready for. If so much of who I thought I was actually me masking, then who am I really? That day, I didn't have an answer. I still don't. at least not completely. But I do know I've spent most of my life working twice as hard to navigate a world that was never designed for me. Not for me, and not for my daughter, or anybody else like us. And now, at least, I understand why.